Hello, 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 crafty people. It's Crafty Chris here with another Thursday Scrap Your Scraps. Today we're going to make backgrounds, and we're going to make backgrounds using up all of our little strippy bits, and if we have time we'll go to our small shapes and just generic-y papers that we have lying around. But we're going to start with our little strippy things that you've put away in your containers. So I am going to do a couple of different versions of this if I have time. If not, I will definitely email that out. So I want to stick to tones. So if I'm doing red, the majority of them are going to be red colors and patterns and solids to create a background. So get your little strippy strips out. Remember we talked about packaging them and keeping them and using them. And I will see you in a few minutes. For today, I'm going to be using this white textured cardstock. I really don't like it. It's not my favorite thing, but it's great if you're going to be covering over that texture. I prefer plain cardstock because, I don't know, I just don't like the texture. It doesn't give me the ability to stamp and do other things to it without adding a texture to it. So anyway, I'm going to change it by using my scraps. So if you have really any color in your stash of paper that you don't like, simply get your strips out and change it. I mean, that's the way to go, right? So I have a couple of things inside my scrappy scraps. I have circles. This is my orange and brown container. So I'm going to pull everything that I have in here that is orange or orangish, and I'll leave the other stuff in there. So if I run out, because you're not going to have necessarily an entire page full of strips to cover the whole page, but if you run out, you can move to either the browns, orange to brown, or orange to yellow, or orange to red. So you can make that decision based on whatever color you pick. So the shapes I'm putting aside for now, I want to play with the actual paper. And everything's in strips, and I'm not going to change the size of the strips unless I have to trim things down, but I'm just going to start to sort of lay stuff out. So I've got like solids and I've got patterns, and don't even know which side to use on that one. So I'm going to put solids over here, and I'm going to randomly intersperse pattern and solid paper. So that would be the first thing I would do, is separate them. And just kind of lay them out because they're all different sizes from all your different scrapping. Let's see, kind of like that. And this is kind of peach, so I'm not sure if I'm even going to use that. If I run out, I may. This is a pattern. Can't really see it, but it is a pattern, and that might fill in a little spot. I don't know why I saved these little bits, but I did. So now I got to use them. Now that actually goes over there to the pinks, pinky, peachy colors. That has an arrow on it. That's very cool. And I don't have any of that. Whoop, there's another one of those. There's another one of those. And we have, oh, this and this are the same kind of paper. So I'm just going to try to pull the papers together, because when you're laying things out, you don't want to end up, oh, look at that shape. That might be cool somewhere. I dropped a piece. And this is, it's kind of more of the peachy. Ooh, it's more pinky. And this So I don't have any of that yet. So I'm just kind of matching up the patterns I have. So here's more of that pattern polka dot. And I normally don't keep the little mini strips, but they do come in handy every once in a while. So there's another kind of color. And there's a brighter. And more of this one, which is kind of orangey, whatever. And this is a totally different one. This kind of goes with that pile. No, it goes there. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to go from dark to light. So I'm going to start and organize from dark to light. So dark, darkish, darkish, maybe like that. This is somewhere in there, and this is somewhere in there, I guess. This is very light, so we'll put that down there. And it, you know, it's hard to kind of get it all playing together nicely, but we're sort of going to try and get a flow going here. That's very dark. That's kind of very dark. When you squint your eyes, you can see it better. And that kind of helps you to maybe in there. Maybe there, I don't know. And this is more like yellow, and beige, and that's somewhere in there. That's somewhere, whoops, it's got the green side to it. This one, I'm not feeling this. I'm just going to toss that. And this one kind of goes in here. All right, so here, here. Whoa. Gotta watch the little pieces. They fall everywhere. So this is kind of up in this range. In here. So that. I'm just kind of pulling them together so I can pull from them as I go. So this is what takes the longest, is the organizing ready to go. Let me get that stuff out of the way. There we are. And I'm not doing it like hue. I'm doing it sort of squinting it and figuring out what looks dark and what looks light. And this is kind of, now see, it just, there we go. And where do you guys fit in? You fit in somewhere there. And where do you fit in? You fit in somewhere here. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing to the planes. Actually, the planes may be fillers, but let's get them organized into color anyway. These are easier. Excuse me. This is kind of peachy, so we're going to get that out of here. I felt like something fell on my leg, but I guess not. So when I look at this, this is dark. Yeah, this kind of works for me. And this, I almost want to switch these there tonally. Okay. All right, so now I've kind of got things sorted out. Sorry, I did drop something. There it is. little teeny piece. Dog hair, because I have a dog. Alrighty. So now I'm going to start to lay these pieces out, and I'm going to start from dark, light to dark or dark to light, doesn't really matter. I'm going to try and do triangularly, and I think I'm going to have things going horizontal. So you have a lot of options here. You can go horizontal, you can go vertical, you can go diagonal in both directions. Okay, you can make it squares. You can make it octagons, anything that has angles on it. So that's going to be a decision that you make based on what you have in front of you. So I'm going to do just straight across, and I'm going to start building my page. So I'm going to go from light to dark and kind of hit somewhere in the middle. And then we'll play around with that. So here's a few more pieces. I've got to have some of these guys in here, so I don't want those all together. So my lightest ones are these ones. They're going to go intermittently. All right. My goodness. So that's almost the same. Not going to worry if they go over. This is just laying things out right now. So I need a little bit of a dark color there. And just kind of going to fill it all in. So that's kind of what I'm doing. So I'm going across and then down. And then here, I want to keep some light happening. And you know, we can figure out, it's better to have it over the page than under the page. And then we can sort out later. Kind of fits in there. Sort of. And there, that's kind of medium-like. So I'm just building. If you can see what I'm doing down here, I'm just building. Now this piece here is fairly dark. I don't know why I have that in this section, so I think I'm going to move that up a little bit into that section. Oh, here's a cool piece. Sort of get everything to line up-ish. Take this one out. Oh, they're the same size. Okay. That I'll leave for later. So you see how I'm just kind of laying it out. Not really following any sort of super specific so next, don't like that anyway, so that can fit in there. There we go. Just slowly building, 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 building. Alrighty, now these guys, I think I may have some trouble. So let's spread out these guys just a little. So already I'm having some issues So we're going to spread out a few things. So we have some of this up here. This nice skinny piece can go in here somewhere. That fits. We've got some of this happening. Let's get some of that going. Opening it up a little bit. And then we have some of these guys. Actually, I don't want that guy there. It can be here somewhere. It's kind of cool, and I can put something in between there. And then we have these guys. So I'm spreading this around a little better because the building from the bottom I'm going to run out, and I kind of want to keep just going to go over here, some things alive. That's darker, so that's going to go in there. Switch that out. Have a piece like that. So you can sort of see it building from light to dark. So I'm going to move some of this down now. I have a few more dark pieces I can swoosh in up here. Scooching. See if I did that. Needs to switch with that one. That one can switch with that one. Okay, so now we're going to spread this out a little bit more. And there we go. A little bit of that. A little bit of that. This goes up in here. So I'm going to put that there. Right there. I can go there. Not going to worry about that. Now I've got these guys. So maybe scooch that in there. Move some of this down still. Move that to there. That's too dark. I'm going to move this here. So as you can see, it takes a little bit of setting up to figure out where things are going to go, and that really doesn't work there. So let's move a few things over here. I'm going to put those on there. Okay. So if I switch this out, I'm going to put that there, and put that there, and then maybe put that there. And maybe switch this out. Yeah, but then that's going to be too low. That's got to go in here. I'm just literally just shifting them around until I like what I see. I don't like that down there, so alrighty. Now, I think I'm going to put this guy there. And maybe squeeze that guy in there. There we go. So there's kind of what I was heading for. Now I'm going to start to, oh, that's solid. All right. So we can leave the solid piece, but it's quite brilliant. Now, let's see what I have here. I have orange. It's about the same distance as that, which I don't want to do. Okay, so maybe orange can go in there. And I can fit an orange in here. And then I don't like that spot. Maybe I can turn things around a little bit. So now this is where I'm trying to butt things together. Oh, let's try this one. So that they fit on the page more or less. Okay, so there's the beginning of the top. Then got a stripe here. Got a stripe here. Got orange there. So this I'm not liking because it's matchy-matchy. So if we bring this over here, now we're starting to see the page come together. Okay, so that is sort of what we're heading for. So we are going to have to do some filling in, and we have our other papers here in our binder that we can fill in with. So I am going to continue to do this, and when I'm ready to figure out the filling in, I will come back. So I decided to start to actually stick things down in my progression because I know I'm going to fill in the holes, and I'm going to try and leave the holes at the edge and fill in from the center out, and just start sticking things down and filling spots. Here I've crossed over a little bit so that that could actually fit in line with these other pieces, so that I don't have as much of a challenge when I go to do the next line. Okay, so I'm going to continue this and come back when I'm sort of in a position of being done. If this all shifts up, I'm going to start to add yellow at the bottom. I've decided that because these are orangey yellow here, I'm going to move into yellow at the bottom. So I may pull some more yellow to help fill in those spots. So I'm looking at this, and this piece of orange was just a little too much, so I put a strip over top of it so it wasn't quite so wide. And I think that I have enough of the dark orange that I'm just going to stop there with the dark orange, and I'm going to move into my other colors of orange to move down into the yellows. Okay, so I am about halfway there. And as you can see, I've got a couple of spots I need to attend to. And I'll do that with my other papers, my larger papers. And so, as I said, as these things are moving up, I'm going to be adding yellow to the bottom of the page, just so that it finishes nicely. So I'm let's see, 3/4 the way done, maybe a little more. I'm now going to switch to yellow down here, and so I'm going to get my strips, my yellow strips out. But I just want to show you now what I have to put back for orange. It's very little that's of any use for my oranges, and we're not using the pinky orange because it's kind of weird. It doesn't really go. Like that's it. I used up, that's all I've got left of my orange. So that worked out very well. So I'm going to put those back in my container. I don't think I'm going to use the shapes. I just don't see them fitting in anywhere, especially if I'm going to cover them over with my what do you call it, my photos. So I'm just going to keep them the way they are. Now this piece, I'm looking around, and here or here it just looks a little bland, so I might just pop that in just for interest's sake. This stuff is too small to be used, so that's going in garbage. So we're all good to go here. And now I'm going to pull out my yellows. Oops. And it just came off. Oh, there we go. So I'm going to pull out my yellows. Let's see what I can do with yellow to finish this off. Alright, so this has a whole bunch of things in it, but I'm just going to use the actual yellows. I'm not going to go into shapes at this point. Don't feel the shapes right now. So I'm going to do the same process with the yellows as I did with the oranges, but I'm going to stick to the darker ones because I know I'm not going to get right to the bottom line of the yellow. So I can already see I've got some of this happening here. Some of this will work. That's too light. Too light, too light, too light. Lemon. Not feeling the lemon. So I'm looking more for the goldy colors. So these colors kind of blend in. Don't know if I'll go to the brightest ones, but we'll see. That kind of blends in. These do not, I don't think. So yeah, so I'm seeing a fair number. Now these I don't like because the scallops are going in the wrong direction, so I may not use those. But these scallops are going in the right direction. There's a little bit of cardstock that might work in there somehow. This, not very exciting. This is very light, so I think I'll end up using that on another project. What about that? That's kind of more greeny. Greeny, greeny, greeny. Greeny, yellowy gold. Too light, too light. Ooh, look at that piece. That can fit in there somewhere. And I'm not into the whole books. There's a little bit more. Nice little piece if I need it. Too dark. Too mundane. Now that's dark. So let's move some of this down. So those are looking okay. So we can fit some of these in here. Let's see. Would that fit in there? No, that kind of looks just a little too dark. That might work. Maybe bring in some yellow here. There we go. I like that. Maybe bring in some yellow here. Let's see. We can work that in there maybe. And maybe a little of that. This piece can maybe finish off this side nicely. Got a strip I can add over there. This is darker than this. Something like this. It's looking good so far. This is lighter, so we'll put that there. Something like that. Let's see what else we have. We have this guy. He's more looking green. Those guys we don't want to use because we're going sideways. Spoons and forks we can put at the bottom. That's stone, too dark. Ooh, here's some more of this guy. I think he's in the wrong spot, to be honest. I think this guy needs to go in there. And then we can have some of this guy over here. So really just playing around, finding the colors that kind of fit in. We know we're probably going to trim them out just a bit. Oh, there's some lovely. That goes up higher. So I'm going to pull that out. I don't know what I'm doing with it yet. This is lighter. This can go down at the bottom. Wrong direction. This just isn't working for me right now. Maybe this goes there. That's not good. And there's some more of that flower. And some more of that. And we got some more of this and some more of this. This is quite light, so it goes to green in the corner, but I don't mind that so much. Oh, there's some more. That guy. Oh, I got this guy too. It's too dark. So we got a lot of selections here, so this should be no problem figuring out what to use. That It's actually in my orange section. Ooh, look at that one. That can go in there somewhere. You gotta have a little plaid somewhere. Not doing the cheeky thing. I do that. What's under here? Nope. Oop. I don't need that. That's too light. Okay, so we have a number of things here. Do I even want to go to that? No, I think I'm going to stay out of that color range. I think I'm going to stay out of this color range. It's more like a brownie. There. So, okay. Now to figuring how it's going to work. So I've got to sort these by color. Alright, so I've sorted my colors, and when I eyeball it, it's dark to light. It may be true or not true, but for the purposes of this activity, it's probably going to be okay. And I've done the same for the plain that I had, so I didn't have a lot of plain. So this is going to be quite patterny at the bottom. And now I'm just going to finish off with these yellow pieces, and then we'll put a layout on there. So I am now finished from top to bottom my page. I'm going to get that out of there. Alrighty, so here's my finished page, and now I got decisions to make. So I can decide to have it this way, or I can decide to have it this way, or I can decide to have it this way. It just means the patterns on some of these, like will be going in a funny direction, or I can decide to have it this way. So there's 4 different options for this. That looks kind of striking. So this way, this way. This way looks good too. It's so hard to decide. I don't like that. So I like this either way. This I don't mind either. Looks kind of striking. I think I actually am going to start with the dark at the bottom. Okay, so now I want to put in some photos, and we've got our 4x6 photo placement cards, and we are, yes, going to cover up some of the wonderful things that we have created, but hey, that's what life is about. And I'm just going to follow with the lines of the paper, more or less. Let's see. I don't know if I want 3 of these, because I know I'm going to have room for some interesting conversation about what everything is. So maybe I'll put that one there, and I'll just have that one go right there. And then I'll pop this one, give a little space right there. So what if I put this one here, giving it about the same amount of space? And then I can do some little ones, like a 3x3. And a 4x, no, maybe I'll do a 3.5 by 3.5. Oh, I should give the same distance. And then I have room for a title and some doodads. And I think that looks okay. So there's one option. The other option is to put down a 4x6 or a 5x7. Let's see what that looks like. So if we, I'm just assuming it's a left-hand page, it could be a right-hand page, but we could put down a 5x7. Let's make this one maybe a right-hand page. You could keep it very simple. Then we have room for a title here. Lots of variation. Actually, I'm going to move it up just a little. There we go. This guy. Something like that. So we could have something like this. We could turn this all sideways and have 5x7. Maybe turn this way. 5x7. And then a 3.5 by 3.5 or a 4.5 by 4.5, whatever turns your crank. And then up in the corner, we could do another 4x4. But then that covers a lot of paper, so I'm not really keen on that one. What about if we did 3.5 by 5? And what do we have? Whoa, I just lost everything. You have to make sure you close your ring, because if you don't close your ring, you end up with things everywhere. So here's a 3.5 by 5. And you can turn these vertically or horizontally. Something like that. Nah, don't like that either. Maybe we do, no, don't like that. Maybe we do this up here. 3.5 by 5. And make this a right side page. And then we can have, oops, where did all my 3 by 5s, 3 by 4s go? I might have 3 by 4s. Okay, so imagine, oh no, here they are. And maybe I could just do 3 by 4s across the bottom, like that. And then 5 by 5s, or I could do a 5 by 7. And 3 by 5s. That one would work too. Let's get a picture of what that looks like. So that's another way to do it. So there's multiple opportunities of how you can lay out your papers, but one of the things you want to be sure of is you don't overdo the decoration, because the paper itself is so busy. You want to kind of keep the pictures and the decorations simple. You know, maybe a journaling box here, maybe a tag or two, but basically keeping it as simple as you can so that that paper is the thing that is the decoration. All right, so that's it for me for another Thursday night. Hope you enjoyed tonight's play, and I'm not sure what's going to happen next week, but I'm sure it'll be fun. I'll see you later. Bye.